Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Jersey Boys Sports Talk. We're the only show that really thought the A's would win it all. Yeah, we're really disappointed in that. CB actually copped out last week, changed his pick. Who'd you change it to again?
Unfortunately, it was 2 weeks ago, but I unfortunately said I thought the Tigers could rebound.
Oh, yeah.
That bullpen's quite bad, though. So
Yeah, we'll have plenty of wild card talk for you tonight. Snowball is not here, unfortunately. He's doing some college business.
Get to get back at him for him trash talking you last week.
Yes, I actually purposely did not let him on the show tonight. So we're going to have some fun with that, talk about some small school quarterbacks while he's not here.
So was that whole college stuff a cover-up? Am I sensing that? Scandal here?
Yeah, it may be. CB and Snowball are both in their senior year, so they got some college business. CB made some time for us tonight. I'm a junior, so I got a little more time. But just so you guys know, we will be having a formal decision show for both of them to commit to their school. Just some plugs out of the way real quick. Phone number for tonight. Not last week, because I'm back this week. 862-400-6461. Follow us on Twitter at JB Sports Talk. We do have a new hashtag for the returning Joel Embiid Memorial segment. You can tell us tonight what you would do with Miggy Cabrera's $500,000 playoff bonus that he turned down earlier in the week. And also like us on Facebook at Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Nick Bogata, CB Garrett, and Matt Stolboff. So, knowing our show, we always have to start off with some kind of scandal. It's been quiet the past couple weeks since the NFL has kind of quieted down. But now we move down to college football. Brady Hoke and Michigan. So basically what had happened was their quarterback was he improperly evaluated for a concussion, or he came in too quick, or came back?
It appears that they kind of figured he might have a concussion and then run the complete proper tests on the sideline for him and then brought him back in. And that was met with some not so that wasn't met with the best
Wasn't welcomed at all.
Didn't like it very well. They're pretty mad at both Brady Hoke and the athletic director. They decided to finally put in a new policy where they have all sorts of athletic trainers on the sidelines making calls on the football team, something that seems antiquated that they didn't have it before when they have it on probably most college programs and all NFL teams. So it just seems like they were a little outdated with their entire policy.
Yeah. And I feel like we wouldn't really be talking about this at all if Michigan wasn't horrendous this year. They're 2-3, 7th in Big Ten East. They're currently up 4 on Rutgers. We'll see if that holds. But Michigan, they got absolutely steamrolled the other week by Arizona. Really, I don't think this would be as huge of a deal if they weren't horrible this year. And there was a rally the other day by University of Michigan students to fire Brady Hoke. Obviously, the athletic director is getting a lot of heat for this as well. CB, do you think they need to fire Brady Hoke after this? Especially how he's doing this year?
I was never that big of a fan of firing coaches in season unless there's some sort of big scandal going on. Obviously, Hoke has not lived up to the expectations that they wanted at the Michigan program, but I think it's likely that he's going to make it through a couple more games. I kind of feel like they might pull off this Rutgers game tonight, even though they're the underdogs. But I don't see it's going to be hard for him to make it through the season. Michigan fans have been calling for him to be fired since they were 1-2, and it's not gotten any better for them. So it's going to be hard for him to make it through the year. But and this whole concussion thing doesn't really help his positioning at all. They're obviously unhappy with the athletic director as well, but I think he'll keep his job. But Brady Hoke is definitely on the hot seat.
Personally, I think he'll make it through the season, but not past that. this isn't.
They start facing Big Ten opponents, though. I mean, obviously Rutgers is a Big Ten opponent now, but they're not like the class of the Big Ten. Like, I don't think they'll be able to beat Penn State, Ohio State,
Exactly.
Michigan, like that. Those are teams that they're going to get destroyed by, and they're not going to. The fans aren't going to take too kindly to that.
And when you're Michigan and get destroyed by Ohio State, you're done there. This isn't a fireable offense, but when you stack that on top of how he's been performing lately, I think this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back here. Brady Hoke will not be with Michigan next year. There have been rumors that they're going to try and go after Jim Harbaugh. We'll actually be talking about him later. I think those people are delusional. Jim Harbaugh is not going to sacrifice a winning football team in San Francisco on the NFL level to go back to college for Michigan, who's been horrendous. Cliff Kingsbury, I could see him going there, possibly. I don't think there's a whole lot of candidates, but Cliff Kingsbury I like a lot. I don't see too many options, but I don't think Brady Hoke's going to be the answer. And especially when you get this kind of reaction from your students, and the moment someone hears concussion, that's the main problem. People are going to be calling for his head. And I think when you have that kind of pressure from the outside, plus he's not performing, he's going to be gone. So, CB, any ideas on who Michigan can get if they do end up firing him?
It's always tough to see during the season who's going to want to go where, because no one's leaving mid-season to take another job, of course.
Yeah.
So that's not really entirely clear at this point, but I think we should have a better understanding of that and idea of who the replacements might be after the college football season is over.
Yeah. And it's a very risky job to take. Actually, also the Raiders, they fired Dennis Allen, and Tony Sperano is taking over there. It's just the job where if you're having a successful career, that can kill your career right there. Taking over, a bad program or, bad team in general for the Raiders. But if you're not...
What happened to Rich Rodriguez? He took one bad job, and he's been falling down the coaching spiral ever since.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're nobody and want a shot, take a team with low expectations, and you can do something. That's what Jim Harbaugh did. That's what Pete Carroll did. So, if you're nobody and want a job, Michigan can be an option. If you have a decent reputation, I wouldn't risk it. So, we'll see how that Michigan... I wouldn't even call it a scandal, but if you want to refer to it as a scandal, we'll see how that develops. On a little bit of a lighter note, the Patriots, I have no idea what's going on in New England. Brady...
I don't think they do either.
Yeah, and you can try and blame this on the front office training Logan Mankins. I really don't think that's the problem. Brady said earlier this year that he'll retire when he sucks. Well, it looks like we're kind of getting close, because when you look at it, people have always used the argument, well, he has no weapons. Well, yeah, but he won Super Bowls with no weapons. His number one receiver was Deion Branch. He had Randy Moss for about an hour. Gronk has almost never been 100%. So you can't really use that argument anymore. And there's guys on that team who are decent. He still has Amendola. He has Aaron Dobson, who's very fast. I mean, he's not a big-name guy, but he's a decent receiver. They ended up waiving Tompkins today. But Brady has people around him. I mean, they're not the best, but he's never had the best, and he's won Super Bowls. So I mean, it's easy to say they're on the decline. But I think we're in a position where Brady might not even be the best quarterback in his division right now. He's declining so fast. CB, where do you see Tom Brady going this year?
I don't see him going anywhere. He kind of, especially as a fantasy quarterback, he lost that relevance last year. And with no weapons, Gronkowski still seems like a shell of himself. And really no weapons on the outside. Him and Edelman have been a decent connection this year. But past that, there seems like there's no other receiver he seems to trust Amendola, who was brought in to be the next Wes Welker, has done next to nothing during his time here this year and last. And no other wide receivers have stepped up. They thought Aaron Dobson was going to be something big, and Kenbro Tompkins, who you said was waived. They all thought those players were going to be good receivers. But Brady's just not the same quarterback he used to be, where he was able to, no matter what his weapons were, win games. And he's just not at that point right now. And the running game isn't helping him out either. Vereen is not in the form that he was a year or two ago. Stephen Ridley is not quite as good as he was 2 years ago or even last year before he had the fumbling issues. So that team's going to continue to struggle, especially in the offensive end.
Yeah, I think a huge moment this week. Obviously, they had the blowout loss to the Chiefs. They brought in Jimmy Garoppolo. There was a reporter, and this could just be an idiotic reporter, but the fact that this question was asked during the press conference, he said, will the quarterback position be evaluated this week? And, well, obviously Bill Belichick laughed it off, but I could see that as a legitimate question. They traded away Logan Mankins because he was getting old, and the Patriots are one of those organizations that they don't want to win now. They want to look towards the future. John Elway in Denver, he wants to win now and doesn't care about next year. The Patriots are looking to the future. They're one of those organizations, they don't really care how long you've been with the team or what you've done. If you're not performing and they think you're not going to be good long term, they'll get rid of you. I think Robert Kraft would trade Tom Brady in a heartbeat. There was, I think it was last summer, they had an offer from the Browns. Obviously, several first-rounders and a couple players involved, and they were actually considering it. They didn't take it, obviously. But it was under consideration. So, CB, if, let's say, in the next 2 or 3 years, how soon is Jimmy Garoppolo going to take over for Tom Brady?
I don't think it'll be this year, and it might not be next year, but after that, I can't see Tom Brady holding this job for more than past next year. He's clearly been declining the last 2 years, 3 years, and Garoppolo is going to continue to develop and mature. I don't think he's quite ready yet. I mean, we saw a touchdown pass to Gronk, and he looked good against the Chiefs. But then again, that wasn't garbage time. I think Brady will definitely carry him through this year and will at least be the starter throughout most of next year. Maybe towards the tail end of next year, Garoppolo starts getting more and more reps. But I think it's going to be at least 2 more years until we see him as a starter.
Yeah, definitely. Well, like I said, I think they'll stick with Tom Brady this year. I think they'll stick with him for the majority of next year. After that, I can see him. I'm not sure what the terms of his contract are, to be honest, but I can see them getting rid of him after that. If he doesn't retire. And Garoppolo, I like this kid a lot for a couple reasons. One, he's being brought up under Tom Brady. He's not just being thrown in there. Kind of like Blaine Gabbert was, like Teddy Bridgewater just was. I mean, obviously he got hurt. Christian Ponder was just thrown in there. He didn't perform. He's being brought up, and there's not too much pressure on him right away. Also, Snowball's not here to yell at me for this, but he did go to Eastern Illinois. He broke all of Tony Romo's records there. And I hate to, keep rambling on about small school, but when you're able to do a lot with nothing, A.J. McCarron is able to do a lot when he has the talented receivers at Alabama and the running game to take some pressure off him, the great offensive lineman at a marquee program. If Jimmy Garoppolo can perform at almost the same level at Eastern Illinois, where you don't have any top recruits, and he's not coddled at all, he's going to be more NFL ready. Because in the end, Alabama probably has better receivers and a better offensive line than maybe the Browns or the Jets